Please join with me in consciousness, relaxing in positive affirmative meditation. Allow the words I speak to be the words of your own heart, as I speak in the first person, present tense, and positive. As I relax in this moment, I recognize there is one divine essence. It is in, through, and as all things. It is the seen and unseen world. It is the source of all. I choose to call it God. I know without a doubt I am one with it. It is all of me, and yet it is so much more. And I know as I speak my word into it, it responds. Even before I ask, it responds. So today I choose to speak on prosperity and abundance in my life. I am a beacon and magnet for all that I need, with much more to spare, for I am the light. I am in the flow of money from all sources. It comes to me easily, joyfully, abundantly. I accept and receive it now. I am so grateful for my existence in this abundant universe. I am thankful for all the money I receive in all its wondrous ways. I am grateful for my prosperous life. I always release and allow the how to spirit and allow all my good to come to me now. It is mine. Prosperity is who I am. So as I take this time now to focus on my health and well-being as part of my prosperity, I recognize that this one divine intelligence is omnipotence, omniscience, omnipresence. It is truly all power, all wisdom and knowledge, and it is everywhere in its completeness, every second of every day. I know without a doubt that I am one with it. It is me right here, right now, and yet so much more. I realize that I initiate my life experiences through my words, through my deep-held feelings and beliefs. So in this moment, I speak my words of pure health and well-being. I know my thoughts expand, and I choose today to focus on my physical, mental, and emotional perfection. I allow Spirit to flow through me as pure health in all areas of my life. I am vibrant and healthy. I am peaceful. I accept my divine balance and health now. I am grateful for every aspect of my healthy life. I am grateful for my wondrous body and keen, sharp mind. With an open and grateful heart, I release these beautiful, healthy thoughts into law. For I know that spiritual law responds all the time. I know Spirit is attempting to bring me my good. So today I am willing to allow. And as I've had this time to contemplate my health and well-being, I take a deep breath and know that life is good. It's ever unfolding good. And I may not know how, but I do know that I am fully supported. There is a benevolence that goes beyond my understanding, and I'm okay with that. There is a grace that is always active, always supporting, always loving me. And so as I put my focus on that which I desire, willing to do what is mine to do, it says yes to me. It feels so good to know that I live in this positive, supportive, prosperous universe. It is my life now and will continue to be, because I allow it. I claim it. I know it. I live it. I am it. And though my future may be unwritten, I know that I am the architect of my life. And Spirit says yes. So today I choose to design a life that is the most fulfilling life I can ever imagine. And then I say to Spirit, this or something better, because I know my limited thinking can create a box around what might be possible for me. So I say to Spirit, bring it on. I know what you bring me I'm capable of, because everything that I can do, I do because of you, through me. It feels so good. This place of faith, this place of trust, this place of being loved beyond measure. So I cast my imagination out into the infinite. And it reflects back to me the infinite possibilities. And they are unique possibilities for me, because I am a unique expression. So as I have ideas bubbling up, I know they are specifically for me. And I get to choose the ones that I take forward into my life. I lean into the knowing that Spirit always has my back, and that Spirit is also always guiding me. I need only listen, follow the prompts, and do what I feel is mine to do. Or not. I can choose not to follow the prompts. But when I truly remember that I'm fully supported, and it is an all-loving presence that exists within me and beyond me, I step forward in faith. I am so grateful for my life, so grateful for knowing that I am always divinely guided, knowing that there is a part of me that is whole, perfect, complete, prosperous, abundant, healthy, optimistic. That's the word that comes to mind. I'm optimistic about my future because it already feels good. I am so grateful for this knowledge, for walking hand in hand with Spirit, for my life and everything in it. So I see it all from this standpoint, the standpoint of optimism, of love, of it is my highest good unfolding. So I easily, joyously release these words and the unfolding of this demonstration to the absolute mind of God. I claim it now, and with a smile on my face, I say, and so it is. Oh, good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm Reverend Anna Hokangas, and it's my pleasure to be here with Emilio Zaris this morning for our Sunday live stream presentation. So welcome, 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 those of you online and those of you that enjoyed the meditation before. Know that you can always go back and look at any of these videos online at our YouTube channel, Unity Spiritual Center. So let's begin with some singing, because of course, that's our most favorite part.
Good morning, everyone. Let's start with God is My Guide. It's a new one for me by Aaron McGoggin.
God is my guide. God is my guide. God is my guide. God is my guide when I stumble and fall. God lifts me up again when I stumble and fall. God is my guide. God is my guide. God is my guide. God is my guide. God is my guide when I stumble and fall. God lifts me up again when I stumble and fall. God is my guide when I stumble and fall. God lifts me up again when I stumble and fall. God is my guide when I stumble and fall. God lifts me up again when I stumble and fall. God is my guide.
Beautiful.
And now, we're going to do Love is My Decision. Mr. Daniel Newman. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give up my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can help me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. My decision right here and now.
Thank you. And if these words resonate with you, make them the words of your own heart. In the silence, love is here. In the silence, peace is here. In the silence, truth is here. In the silence, God is here. For there is only one thing going on: Spirit, God, the infinite field of pure potentiality. And I am one with it. So I invite Spirit to be my guide, whether it's in the silence or in the noisy part of the day, always in all ways. So with a grateful heart filled with this knowing, I release to the absolute mind of God, knowing that in the silence, God is there.
In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. Love is there. In the silence, where every color blends and every rainbow ends, good is there. In the light, now you find that you know peace of mind. In the silence, your path is paved in gold, and all your dreams unfold. Love is there. Peace is there. Truth is there.
And that leads us into today's daily word, understanding. I open myself to spiritual understanding. When I feel frustrated by a personal professional challenge, or feel unsafe or concerned about a situation or event, I seek greater understanding. When I try to understand, I open my heart. Maybe I just need to gather more information or request the advice of someone I trust. If I am in conflict with someone, I practice understanding by listening with a curious mind and a loving heart. I grow in spiritual understanding when I discern and heed my inner guidance. Beyond conscious thought, spiritual truth begins to illuminate my consciousness. As I release all that stands in the way of understanding and stand firm in the love that calls it forth, I'm guided by my growing spiritual understanding. Your decrees are righteous forever. Give me understanding that I may live. Psalms 119, 144. Boy, that was a good one for today. This year's vision is Perfect Vision 2020, seeing through a spiritual lens. And have we ever been experiencing seeing through a spiritual lens or not? And the theme for April is Bright Beginnings. And we're focusing on that because it's spring, because as we focus on something that we desire, it starts to unfold in our life in some amazing way. So today we're going to look at Unwritten. And unwritten from the standpoint that though our stories may have shaped us, that we need to acknowledge and honor and have gratitude for our stories, but we have a story that's still waiting to be written. We are creativity, infinite possibility. We're the architects of our lives. We die daily, sometimes moment by moment, to our old ways and have a new day. The future is unwritten. We are always at choice. And there's a lot of people who believe that we live a life of fate, that things are fated or they're by good luck or something like that. And yet, who you are speaks so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying. But Spirit hears who you are and creates the life for you based on who you are. And so as a consequence, yes, life is unwritten because God doesn't know what's going to happen till you make up your mind. So as we move forward in this really unusual time, what are you creating? Who are you choosing to be? What are you choosing to focus on? So let's take a look at that. Our stories have shaped us, for sure. And most of us believe that who we were and what we did, the mistakes and the accolades, somehow write the future. And they can, but they don't have to. We're always at choice. So we're on a journey of change. Each moment is an opportunity to make a new choice and create a better life. We're limitless potential and can bring into experience anything that can be conceived. As the mind aligns to the unlimited possibilities of the law, the possibilities of attainment increase. I want you to hear that. We are limitless potential. And I know you may be sitting there right now at home thinking about a challenge that you have, and maybe it's monetary, maybe it's physical, maybe it has to do with a relationship. And I believe it was Einstein who said if you try to solve a problem from the level of a problem, you're going to continue to not have answers on how to solve it. But if you can put yourself into the God space of who you are as the pure essence, the spirit of you, then there is this creative energy that starts to flow and ideas start to bubble up that give you ideas on what you might do, how you might be, what you might think about, so that your life starts to unfold in a way that is better for you, that you're happier about. The past is not precedent. In this way, we can break out of old past patterns and behaviors and consciously write the unwritten narrative of our lives. And it's been said that principle is not precedent, is not bound by precedent. And that means that God, though you may have done things 100 times a certain way, doesn't expect you to do them the same way again. It is ready to say yes to whatever new you're choosing to create. So maybe you've beat yourself up about who you were or how you behaved or something in your past, and you think that you have to drag that bag of boulders through the rest of your life. Honor it, bless it, learn from it, and choose a new choice, a new path. Make amends to those who you may have hurt, and let it go. Forgive yourself. and start again. Start to be who you choose to be now, and know that as you become that, the universe, the God that you understand, says yes to you and brings even more to you. You are not your past. We are not our past. You are not your story. Just like you are not the thinker who thinks the thoughts, you are that, but you also are aware of you thinking the thoughts. So you're not your past, and you're not your story. Like I could say to you, well, I'm a 62-year-old woman with blonde hair, and I have a history of the spa business, and I came from Finland. And yes, that's all fine and good, but who am I today? Who are you today? Who do you choose to be? What do you choose to create in your life as we move forward? Because Spirit is ready to say yes to you. Acknowledge, honor, and have gratitude for your story. Absolutely. I know that I would not be who I am today with the awarenesses and the consciousness that I have if I had not honored who I was before. And so, a lot of people say in New Thought that we're just being positive and happy, happy, happy all the time and focusing only on the good, and that somehow that's an artificial way of living. And yet they don't understand that the underlying of it is that I love myself and all my foibles. And I also love the Spirit in me that is saying, yes, I can be anything I choose to be. I can live any life I choose to live. And as I start to move in that direction, using my imagination and my actions and my prayer and my meditation and my faith and trust in God, that my life starts to unfold in the most amazing ways. I remember when I first went into ministry and I was studying ministry, and people would say, well, what is your ministry? And I'd say, I have no idea what it is that I choose to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to study and assimilate all this information, and one day I know Spirit is going to show me what it is that I need to do, what it is that is mine to unfold. And so I remember hearing Spirit the very first time that I was sitting in a church, and I hadn't decided yet that I was going to follow ministry. I was in a Unity church, sitting in the back row, crying like most of us do when we first go to a New Thought church because we're hearing what we need to hear. We're finally with a group of people who think like we think. And the voice in my head, which I don't know if it was the thinker, if it was Spirit, if it was my soul, if it was God, but something said, one day you're going to do this. And I remember thinking, I didn't say no to it, but I thought, I wonder how that's going to unfold. And then jump forward a number of years, and I'm the secretary at a Unity church in Kitchener. And I happen to be there while our minister is away at a conference. And she has asked me to create a beautiful setting in the prayer room because I had declared myself to be an artist in my mind. And she put me to the test by saying, why don't you create a beautiful prayer room for us? And so while she was away, I got this idea at about 4 a.m. and decided to go into the church and start to work while there was no one there. And one of the things that came to mind was that I should create a poem on the door or a prayer or something. And I had no idea really what I might do, so I started going through some of her books of prayer and poetry, and I found The Prayer for Protection by James Dillett Freeman, which I had heard a number of times already, but it wasn't as familiar to me then as it is now. And I decided I would do that on the door. And I was able to get probably the first 3 lines, but I was using fairly large font, and so the prayer just had a ... at the end. But the interesting thing that I found out the next day when the minister came back, it was Reverend Sharon, is she saw it on the door and she gasped. And I said, what's going on? And she said, do you know that the man who wrote that prayer just died yesterday? And for a moment, I had this real awareness of the oneness of Spirit, and that it was telling me 2 things, the oneness of Spirit and that we are all connected,
but also that I was exactly where I needed to be, tapped into exactly what I needed to do. And I had no idea what my ministry was going to be, but obviously God was guiding me. It was a very profound moment, and I still think about that often. And if you ever get a chance to go to the Unity Church in Kitchener, go and have a look at the prayer room, and you'll see that prayer on the door. How do we have peace with our story? How do we come to peace? We have the choice to change our perspective and see our story in a new light. And, like the story about writing the prayer on the door, I could have just thought of myself as being a psychic or intuitive or something. But I saw beyond that label. And when I got comments back that the prayer room was something that people really felt I had done a good job on, I let go of the idea that I was just pretending to be an artist and was actually in the flow of a creativity that was really mine and very unique, and made peace with my own being hard on myself, and decided that this was like a baby that I had birthed and I needed to honor that. And so everything that we do, every activity that we have, every creation that we have in our lives is something we have birthed. And to love it, to honor it, it was part of our journey. It's part of becoming even more of the real ultimate truth of who we are. Recognize the power of perspective. Is the glass half full or half empty? It depends on the perspective in which you come from. There is always a different perspective. And so if you've got something going on right now, and you're feeling sad about it or upset about it or negative in some way, how about looking at it from, Spirit, show me how this might be a positive rather than a negative? How can I reframe this? How can I rewrite the story that's about to unfold? Because I know that what I focus on grows. So how can I focus on this, whatever that is for you right now, in a positive light? Why not choose a perspective that's honoring, uplifting, and conducive to creating a life free from past patterns to author your life? And boy, as a world, as a society right now, we're having the opportunity to really look at all of the activities that we've had, all of the things that we've kept going and kept us busy and almost on this treadmill of life, to look at it again and say, is this what I want to continue to do? What's really important to me now? How can I spend this time in the most productive way for me? And that might just mean self-care. That might just mean that your partner and you haven't connected in the way that you used to, and that it's an opportunity to do that. I don't know what it is for you, but you do. Your story is actually waiting to be written. No one has written it for you, but you are like the acorn of an oak tree. Within you is a unique compilation of possibilities. And as you become the seedling of an oak tree and then the grander version of an oak tree, wherever you end up putting your roots, you are a unique expression. And you have everything you need to be that beautiful, huge, magnificent oak tree, whatever that is. You may not know what that is, but the clue is that if you have a desire bubbling up in you, that's part of what you came here with, the possibilities that you came here with. And the desire is almost like a precursor to tell you that this is possible for you. And if you're willing to do what's required to get you there, that it's going to show up. It may not show up like your limited thinking may imagine it. It may show up even grander or really different. But the feeling that you have of having accomplished it right now, whatever it is, maybe it's writing a book, maybe it's having a really great relationship, maybe it's having enough money in the bank to be really comfortable and have more to share and a lot to spare. Any of those things, think about how that feels if it were the reality right now, and know that that energy is what is going to draw it to you, the ideas and the actions that you need to do to have that unfold. Because Spirit is at the helm if you allow it. So I had some time this week, like we all did, and I created a small video for you to watch. It's the parable of the missing bridge. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know.
The Missing Bridge by Lee Carroll. How many of us really do not trust our intuition? Or for that matter, how many of us have difficulty with faith? Notice, please, that my own hand is raised. Trust in things not seen is one of the hardest principles of a belief system that has us trusting in God and ourselves for our future. Henry was on the road, traveling quickly. His journey was to the other side of the valley. And in all appropriateness, Henry, being an enlightened human, had asked God to co-create this journey with him. He knew intuitively that this had been a proper and correct thing to create for himself, and so he had indeed created it. He was on the road, but there was one very real problem. There used to be a bridge on the road to the other side of the valley, but it had been missing now for some time. Yet Henry continued down the road with full knowledge that the bridge was out. You see, Henry was in the process of creating a miracle of trust regarding his future, and he had committed himself to the process of faith. Had Henry lost his mind? What would a normal human think at this time? The human mind makes assumptions. The bridge is not there, therefore I will die. The bridge cannot be rebuilt quickly enough. It was not there last night when I passed the same point, therefore it's not going to be there tonight. The assumption is that the human expects the bridge to be as it was before, made by other humans with steel and concrete, in the same place as before. My vehicle will not make it if there is no bridge, the human says. Henry, on the other hand, was trying for the first time to co-create his future with the new gifts of God in this new age. He had learned that he was no longer a victim of his life or the circumstances around it. He had taken responsibility for everything around him, including the missing bridge, and was moving forward in a manner that would take him to places he had never been or had been afraid to go. Henry was trusting God for the first time. He was full speed ahead and looking at an empty abyss where the bridge used to be. What did Henry know that most humans don't? Here are a few thoughts. Number one, do not think like a human when it comes to things of God. Think like God would. There is much going on that you are unaware of when God co-creates with you to make large changes in your life. Things that seem utterly impossible will take many strange twists to become your reality. 2, make no adjustments along the way out of fear. You see, if you think like a human, you will indeed create fear first. Your intellect will work against you in this circumstance, shouting in your ear to turn left or right on your journey, speeding towards the bridge that isn't there. You may choose to stop altogether and abandon your journey due to the steel grip that fear can have on your heart. 3, take responsibility for the journey. Listen closely, for this is the most important attribute. If you think like a human and fear like a human, you won't have trust and will blame God for what may appear to you as a negative situation.
Here I am on the road, speeding to my death. God, you have deceived me. God, you have betrayed me. I will surely be dashed into the canyon below. Your imagination will work overtime to convince you that nothing you could ever do will make a difference. Such is the duality that you have given yourself while on earth. If you take responsibility for the journey, then God cannot do anything to you. You are part of God. You are co-creating on the road, thinking as God thinks, unafraid, knowing that where the bridge once stood, there will be something to replace it, without assumptions of what it might be. As Henry sped toward the valley, suddenly he saw ahead of him just what he thought he'd see. The bridge was indeed missing. It wasn't possible to be rebuilt by humans in a day, and he knew that. Henry was afraid. It was the last moment, and he knew that his test was at hand. But what was this that Henry also saw? There were others standing on the road waving him on around a curve to an area he had never been to before. And coming into view was a brand new bridge. A bridge that had taken a full year to build. This was a bridge that had been under construction long before Henry had even asked for it or needed it. It was wider than the one he expected. It had lights to show the way at night, and it moved him easily across the valley to the other side. It had been constructed completely out of sight and only revealed itself now when he needed it most. Henry stopped his vehicle on the other side of the valley and held a brief ceremony. He thanked God for the power of co-creation, and God responded by thanking Henry for raising his vibration and that of the planet by trusting in the reality of the unseen. If you understand this parable, you will understand what God has for you in this new energy. We are on a planet of free choice, but God has the advantage of knowing in advance what we will need in our timeline, if we happen to ask. So what did you think of that? That was a few hours of learning a new software, and it just was an idea that came to me, and I thought that I would share it with you. It's a great story, and it's a great parable about the idea of how life is constantly supporting us, and that if we continue to just move forward towards that which we desire and do what is ours to do, that somehow, some way, things are going to show up. Even the Bible refers to this as the people that were crossing the desert from Egypt had no food. And yet there was this manna from heaven that came down exactly when they needed it. And when they no longer needed it, everything disappeared. And so that's how we create our life. It was a hint back then in this old text called the Bible that was guiding us to this awareness that we, if we're open, are always going to have our good unfold. So you might be worrying about where is the money going to come from or that sort of thing. You have no idea what the big picture is. Trust and do the best that you can and be grateful for what you have right now, because it is enough. It is enough. Do you have difficulty with faith? This is certainly a time where many of us are really challenged by this idea. What do you have faith in? That things aren't going to turn out? Or are you trusting in things not seen? Are you willing to stretch your faith to the degree that as you put out that which you desire and say to Spirit within you, through you, as you, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to have this unfold, and then move in that direction? Are you willing to do that, to trust in God and in yourself as you move into the future? So do not think like a human when it comes to things of God. Think like God would. So do you think God is afraid? I know it's a rhetorical question. So how do you think like God? You think from the standpoint that anything is possible. And then you choose how you would like to see your life unfold. Now, if you get really specific about it, then it may not show up exactly that way just because there are so many things at play. But if you start to focus on, okay, so let's say it's money. Focus on how it feels in that place of being comfortable with the amount of money that you have. And then allow that feeling to be your guide in the how that it will unfold. Make no adjustments along the way out of fear. That's a tough one too, because there is a difference. I mean, we're living in a time where we need to be responsible and careful. That's not living in fear, that's being responsible. But if even in your responsibility you continue to be afraid, then you are sending out such a powerful energy of fear, and you will have more reasons to be afraid. So I invite you right now to gently, easily release that fear and say to yourself, I choose to create my future based on being as careful, as responsible, as much in integrity as I can be, knowing that my highest and best is unfolding. And that if I make a mistake, I'm not setting a precedent. I can choose again, and that's okay. Are you ready to do that? Take responsibility for the journey. Only you are responsible for your journey. And yes, all kinds of things happen in the world. We're seeing that right now. But how are you choosing to respond? What is it that you're doing as part of who you are? How are you writing your future? Because what you think about today creates your tomorrow. Our stories certainly have shaped us, and you are magnificent because of those stories. So let's acknowledge and honor and have gratitude for your story. Let's take a moment now and just close your eyes. Imagine yourself standing in front of you. And just imagine sending love from your heart to the image of you. And say, I honor you. I acknowledge you. I'm grateful for you and all that you have brought in this life to me right now. And now open your eyes. And know that your story is waiting to be written, whatever that is. This is like the most incredible opportunity right now to be consciously writing your future. So what might that look like? And only you know, because you are unique, beautiful, magnificent, and you are a spiritual being. So you are part of God. Allow God to work with you on the road. Think as God thinks, unafraid, knowing that where the bridge once stood, there will be something to replace it, without fear or assumptions of what it might be. Are you ready for that? So let's get Emilio to guide us in this beautiful song to just really anchor these ideas. I don't need to know.
When things go wrong, it's natural to wonder, what celestial rule did I break? When things go right, it's logical to ponder, what credit can I take? But the truth is so much easier. I don't need a master plan. I can live here in the moment, 'cause my life is in good hands. to know where the wind blows, 'cause God knows. I don't need to know what the future holds, 'cause God knows. I need never know how pain ends, how my heart mends. I can just let go, 'cause God knows. But still I find I'm crying out for answers. Guess I'm still craving control. And still I find I'm afraid of taking chances, as if I could damage my soul. But at this moment I remember it comes so clear to me that the minute I surrender, I'm as safe as I can be. I don't need to know where the time goes, 'cause God knows. I don't need to know what the future holds, 'cause God knows. I need never know how pain ends, how my heart mends. I can just let go, 'cause God knows. I need never know how pain ends, how my heart mends. I can just let go. I can just let go. I can just let go, 'cause God knows. God knows. God knows.
And so it is.
So it is.
That was the perfect song.
I love that we're so in sync.
Yes, I do too. So this is traditionally the time where we do conscious giving, and we say this giving affirmation. I'd like for you right now to think about your own generosity and what you're really grateful for and what you have an abundance of and how you might be a gift for someone else or for the spirit within you. And when we say the part that says, I bless this gift, bless yourself and everything in your life at the same time. So join with me and let's say this together. From the love of pure spirit in me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith. It does great work in the world, and it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. So do you have a prayer request? Please know that you can go on our website and submit a prayer request through that section of our website. Please don't hold something in when you know that there are those of us on the other side here that can know the truth for you if you're having a tough time. Or if there's something you really want to be grateful about and want to share that, please send that too. So our closing prayer, I'd like to invite you to say this with me, and say it with some chutzpah, okay? So, I am at home in the heart of God. I am at home in the heart of the beloved. My life is anchored in truth. I trust in Spirit's guidance. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love, and so it is. And we'll finish with another beautiful song by Emilio.
God You Are is one of my favorites. So much fun. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you for joining us. God, you are every mountain. God, you are every ocean. God, you are every canyon, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every morning. God, you are every midnight. God, you are every moment, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. God, you are every sunrise. God, you are every moon glow. God, you are every star shine, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every springtime. God, you are every snowfall. God, you are every season, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. 'Cause you are the very breath I breathe, and your perfect love created me. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you.
Thank you, Emilio, and thank you everyone for joining us this week. We so appreciate that you are here, and you can stay online and find out ways to donate if you so choose. Thanks again. See you next week.